Party people, what up, though? What's good? Shoot, hold on. Party people, what up, though? What up, though? Sorry to blow your speakers to extortion. Whatever, is the term extortion? I don't know. But it's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk recap and analysis of the Panthers on this channel. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. We have another Tuesday live stream. Give it up for yourselves for making it a Tuesday. Give it up for yourselves for making it to this Tuesday. It's another week, another day in this Panthers offseason. We gotta make it. We gotta get it through. I hate to disappoint you guys, but I do not have a guest this week. I don't have a guest this week. Unfortunately, I do not have a guest. I know some of y'all don't. Y'all don't tune in. Y'all may not tune in for just little old me by myself. So I apologize in advance, but I will do my best to carry the torch. We've had some fire guests the past 2 weeks. Shout out to Josh from Underdog Fantasy. And then shout out to my guy, full-time Dame, Damian Parsons from the Draft Network. Two amazing guests, man. I'm gonna try to keep it rolling with guests. Y'all know, if you've been tuning in, y'all know I don't collab that often. So I want to make it special. I don't want it to get stale. So I'm trying to make everyone. I gotta do it every video. I try to make every video a little bit better every time. So I really appreciate you guys that's been supporting me, tuning in to these live streams. I love the live streams. Y'all know I be inconsistent with them, but Tuesday seems like the day. I like to try to spread my stuff out sometimes as possible, try to get in where I fit in, you know. I know PNP goes live on Tuesdays as well. Shout out to Rashad and Dave from Panthers Nation Podcast. They go a little bit later. So I've been trying to get my live streams on Tuesdays in a little bit earlier than 6:30. It's not 6:30 now. It's 7 o'clock. But we here though. We are here. Let's get into this chat. Omar Tillman first in this thing. What up, though? David Screws, what up? TTV the Madden Dog, what up? Jake Bulls with the eyeball emoji. My favorite emoji. What's up, man? Stony E, what up, though? Y'all drop a what up, though, when y'all get in the chat. Let me know you in this thing. Austin Wright, what up, though? Keep pounding, yes, sir. Micaiah Smith, what's said? Let's get it. What up, though, brother? Raw Walker, what up, though? Marcos Cash, what up, though? I like that Made in Texas logo. That's kind of dope. Said Dave Canales said he's trying to win the South. Bump all that losing talk. Hey, I'm all for it. But I'm just slow playing it. Cautiously optimistic. Zion's Den, what up, though? Denny J, what up, though? TTV Mad Dog, he dropped the emoji. What up, though? Said we in here, let's go. My boy Dylan, shout out to Dylan from FBFO. What's good, brother? Stony E, what up, though? Said feel like Dave ended up being our best coach. Hey, man, he's saying all the right things. We're gonna talk about it. My guy Panthers Are Kings, one of the OGs. What up, though? One of the UB channel OGs. Get these comments a little bit bigger. Ben Watts, what up, though? DeGross, what up, though? My guy Tyree, what's good, bro? What up, though? CJ Kid, what up, though? Aaron Johnson, what up, though? Said we here. Said I'm looking excited. Cautionary optimism, bro. Cautiously optimistic. Those are the key words, brother. We've been burned before by a good talk in the past. So we have to be cautiously optimistic. Nothing wrong with that. But they've got, it's hard to be a Panthers fan and not be excited at this point, man. They're saying all the right things. It feels like they're doing the right moves. It's been some tough moves that we've had to swallow, but so far it's been pretty decent, man. J Rock, what's good? So our 2024 draft hats are looking nice. We're going to talk about that. It's good, Panthers Nation. Charlotte native, currently living in Oklahoma. Shout out to Oklahoma, man. I lived in Tulsa for 3 years. I was born in South Carolina, moved to Tulsa for a little bit, then I came back home. So I went fed, went fed on the guest. Hey man, it just be sometimes momentum is crazy, bro. Blessings on blessings, man. It's just been it's just been a blessing. I just been happy to be here, happy to be somebody that y'all like listening to. I'm just a regular dude. I'm a fan like y'all. I just make YouTube videos, so I'm just like y'all. You know, I like being able to connect with y'all, and I just being consistent, man. And you start networking in this industry, bro, and you start meeting people, like stuff like that. You just got to be ready for it. Like consistency, man. It can do a lot of stuff. I mean, I ain't gonna preach on here, but just being consistent, dog. You just never know who's watching, never know who's looking at your stuff, and then like people hear you and you meet good people, and it's cool. Like Josh and Dane, very cool dudes, man. I met Dame in person. I haven't met Josh in person, but we connected on Twitter. I connected with Dame initially on Twitter. Met Dame in person at camp. He's a cool dude, man, and it's just somebody that you kind of know as cool people and you link with instantly, man. You just start talking and it's all love for sure, man. I mean, shout out to Dame. What up, though? Where's Chapman? My guy, Doug. What up, brother? Tell us something good. Tell me something good. I got you. Antonio said, loving the videos. What up, Doe? Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. So we drafting Ben Sinnott. We gonna talk about that because Dave Canales had some comments. Tim Estes, what up, though? Happy Tuesday. Yes, sir. What up, though? US 7, P at 8 can't get no better. I'm gonna try to be 8. I'm gonna try to stop at 8 o'clock. What up, though? Benatha, what up, though? Said can't shoot anymore. Broke my foot. How you break your foot hooping? Come on, bro. So let's get the bag. Yes, sir. Said my name right, son. I got to give a big one. Hey, look, my first try. Said listen in the UK. Love the Isaac Arando chat on X. Keep doing it, bro. Great content for us fans everywhere. Appreciate you, John Paul. Oh, that was you. Okay, cool. That's cool. Good to put the YouTube comment to the Twitter name. You know, I know a lot of people, it get lost in translation. Some people don't know who I am. They know me on Twitter, know me on YouTube, but haven't connected the fact that I need to do better with my branding. Anthony, what up, though? We getting through these comments, man. We finna get to the content. So if you're watching and you're not used to my live streams, used to my videos, bear with me. This is what I do. This is a hangout. We greet everybody. We talk. This is the South. We have manners. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the South. We have manners. Your grandmother, when you walk into the house from being out and there's people at the house, you come in, you don't go straight to your room. You got to speak. You got to greet everybody in the house. Southern. It's a Southern thing. Your grandma not going to let you run in the house without acknowledging everybody. So I got to acknowledge everybody before we get into it. Jordan, what up, though? My guy Josh in the building. We just talk about Josh. Speak of the devil. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Solid J King, what up, though? Said, when's that mock draft? I just dropped the mock draft today. It didn't pop as much, so I dropped it a little. Maybe I dropped it a little too early in the morning. I might have dropped it a little too early in the morning, but my latest mock draft came out today. Very interesting. It was very interesting. A lot of stuff is changing up, man. We'll see. Shout out that like button. Yeah, there. Love the content. My guy Anthony Montgomery, one of the OG triple OGs for the channel. What up, though, brother? Don't show my bracket. My bracket ugly. You in the group with me. I'm at 18th place out of 20. Craig Powell, what up, though? Said the South, we have manners. Said my hat game stay cold. I'm about to drop a video. I just went to a vintage convention where I just dropped a bunch of Panther stuff. That's why I got this shirt, too. This Cardiac Cat shirt from the vintage convention. It's not even officially licensed by the NFL, but it's from 2004. It's so dope. You'll see it in a minute. Say rocking with the mock draft too. Appreciate your nephew. Appreciate your nephew. So that's how it be in Ohio too. You gotta have the manners, man. You got to have the manners. All right. So we back. What's up, y'all? Let me get a sip of drink. My mouth is dry. Y'all saw me in agony as I got on this stream. But before we get into everything, stop what you're doing. Get a video thumbs up. Let's do it. Get a video thumbs up. Stop right now. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing and hit the thumbs up button. Young son Wukong said my aunt would knock me out if I ignored family. Wouldn't make it to my room. You know what I'm saying? You got to acknowledge everybody before we get into it. We got to acknowledge everybody before we get into it. That dude said, what's up, Dunk? You the man. I'm not the man. You that dude. Your name is that dude. I can't be the man if you that dude. You that dude. Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Tuesday, like I said, we got a lot of couple things to talk about. I'm not going to go too long because I know PNP is coming up next. PNP is coming up next, so y'all make sure y'all shout out to them. Check them out. So like I said, I don't want to try to, y'all can check their, I mean, I don't know if people like to watch it live, but I want to make sure y'all have an undivided attention, whatever content you guys want to consume. But let's go ahead and get into it because the rumors are swirling. The rumors are swirling for free agency, man. I know we've had these meetings. It's been a little bit before we spoke about this. Of course, the Jadeveon Clowney sweepstakes are, I don't know where they are. They're kind of fluid right now. I don't know I don't know how to describe the status of the Davion Clowney sweepstakes. However, he had a great visit with the Jets. The Jets said they're really motivated. They're motivated to sign him. I mean, who isn't motivated to sign Jadeveon Clowney at this point in free agency? So I don't really know what those reports means, but we know the Jets, they beat us in the Mike Williams sweepstakes. Apparently we had a chance to match. The Panthers didn't want to do that. I understand because reports came out he's not going to be ready. He may miss summer training camp. So I understand some of the hesitancy from the Carolina Panthers because you're putting in a new system. You know what I'm saying? You're putting in a new system. So you want people to be able to participate in OTAs. You want people to participate in all-season workouts. You know what I'm saying? If this was an established, like a spot like the Jets, or granted, of course, they have Aaron Rodgers and they're adding new parts. When you have that veteran leadership and that kind of stuff going on, it can make a little bit more sense to bring in a guy that's going to miss some of the off-season program. But when you have a team that's ushering in a new coach, a new culture, the Panthers, believe it or not, will be starting their offseason program officially on April 1st. If you didn't know, now you know, because they have a new coach. They're allowed to start it April 1st. That's next Monday. Next Monday, the Panthers will be in the facility as a team getting work in. That's crazy to believe. We're already through it. We're already almost through. The offseason program is already starting. But regardless, when you have a new guy like that, it makes sense that you want to have guys that can participate. So them not wanting to getting a bidding war, it's unfortunate because I would love to have Mike Williams' talent, but I understand. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But Jadeveon Clowney, he's an interesting case, bro, because we know he's the former number 1 overall pick from South Carolina. Went to South Point High School in Rock Hill. Shout out to Rock Hill. They call it Titletown. Shout out to Rock Hill. Shout out to South Carolina. We in this building. He was former Gamecock. Shout out to them too. But Jadeveon Clowney, he's getting up there, getting longer in the tooth, of course. And he's kind of doing that thing where he signed those 1-year deals. They're going to be fully guaranteed. He's going to do the sweepstakes things where he goes around, spends some time, of course, in Tennessee. Went to Cleveland for a little bit, had a cup of coffee. And then spent last year with the Ravens, 9.5 sacks, very productive. But now it looks like he may go elsewhere. Did the visit, but we just haven't seen like what he's going to do. He's not in a hurry, of course. He never has been. But this has been the earliest that he's taken visits. So we expect something to be imminent. But again, I talk about the offseason program. I talk about guys wanting to miss that. They may be where he's at. He may be on that Brett Favre regime where they don't decide on what they want to do until right before training camp because they don't want to go through all them offseason workouts. They're older. They don't want to do all that stuff. So Clowney could be waiting on that. We'll see. But Dan Morgan, his words about we've talked to Clowney, we stayed in touch. We're looking at other guys still. that lets me know, tough. But the Panthers aren't going to be thirsty. They're not going to be pressed. I think they want to make some moves, but I feel like they're very, very content with going into going into the season with what they're going to do as far as the draft and maybe anything they pick up later. It just feels like they're gonna take what we get, put it together, and try to coach everything up. They're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year. It feels like they're just trying to build a foundation to take a step. If they have to plug in some holes and gaps with vets that they can do on affordable deals, they'll do that. But they're not going to bend over backwards to do that with salary cap, because what is really the goal this year? I mean, Dave Canales said that we're going to compete. I'm cool with that. But do you want to put all your chips in on the table, or do you really want to try to rebuild and put a foundation together? So I think the motivation for some of these vets is not going to be as high as in years past, but they're definitely going to kick the tires and do their homework. If they want to come for the vet men or value deal, I call it the Brant Tillis, Marty Bird special, they can come on. But I don't think they're going to really chase a lot of different guys. So I'm content with that. I've kind of come to grips with what this season is going to be. I want to compete because I'm going to these games. I'm going to tailgate. I'm going to drink my adult beverages. I'm going to high five a lot of y'all that's probably in the chat. Hopefully I meet some of y'all in the chat at training camp or at games. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is because I love football season. But I've kind of already come to grips that this year is just going to be about laying the foundation, evaluating the roster, figuring out what we are. Because I actually feel pretty good about what these guys are doing as far as a plan. So I'm not going to feel that sense of urgency I had last year. Last year, coming off of 2022, the way we competed down the stretch, I thought that was something we could build on. I thought getting a better coaching staff, we were going to be ready to go. That wasn't the case. So my expectations were kind of high last year. But this year, I'm really content about where we are. Dylan's asking about the 4.5 wins. I like the over. I don't think we're going to be that bad. I think we're going to be competitive. We were competitive last year as bad as we were in some games. I think we could have got over 4.5 wins last year easily. I could think of 3 or 4 games off the top of my head that were just completely blown from coaching decisions. The Bears come to mind immediately. The Titans was that play calling down the stretch was bad. The Vikings was like, oof, good Lord. So I think we'll be competitive, but I'm not pressed for clowning. Let me get into this super chat real quick. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Luke Cage. He said he super chatted just to say that Derrick Brown is greater than that Clemson guy. I know who that Clemson guy is that you're talking about. This guy, Mr. Luke Cage, is the pettiest dude ever, bro. He's the pettiest dude ever. The pettiest dude ever. Shout out to Will Robinson on the super chat. Said gas money for my training camp trips. Look, man, I got to go to Charlotte this year, apparently. I got to go to Charlotte. David Tepper don't like South Carolina no more. They want to get all these South Carolina players like Clowney and Gilmore. And they talking to Leggett, but they don't want to put they got training camp out of South Carolina. That's crazy. So they like us for our talent, but don't like us for the logistics and the facilities. Where they do that at? Appreciate you on the super chat. You guys make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you have not. And shout out to Craig Bone Jr. He said he not giving YouTube his money. He said he gonna send it with Cash App, where there's no fees. Shout out to my guy Craig Bone Jr. on the super Cash app. I don't know what to call it, but a super chat. Appreciate you, bro. He said just for the support. He said he ain't got no comment, just for the support. Real one. Let me get to these comments a little bit more before I keep it pushing. Shout out to my guy Jared. Said, what up, though? What up, bro? He said thoughts on the XL and Coleman discourse. Man, draft discourse is always interesting. I love Leggett. I definitely like Keon Coleman as well. If I had to pick the two, I would probably pick Coleman just because of the upside, but I have no doubt in my mind about Legette's ability. I have no doubt in my mind about Legette's ability. Shout out to Brian Russell, man. Said, peace, man. Pause up. Keep pounding. Yes, sir. Said PNN, Panthers News Network. Dunk on demand, PNPC3 or more. Said, love your content, bro. What up, though? Core Ruffin, what up, though? You any kin to David Ruffin? Some of y'all will catch it. Some of y'all won't. Said, caught Dunk live. What's goody? Hey, man. We live, baby. So Clowney usually doesn't sign until April. Yeah, I mean, he takes his time. Best case scenario, we have a season like the Texans did last year. Bruh. That would be super best case scenario. Triv One, what up, though? Clowney had his best season last year. You know what I'm saying? He like, what, 30, 31? Yeah, we had 8 one-score losses. Like, usually when you lose by 1 score, it's a play here, a play there, because the football is not round like a basketball. You don't always get the lucky bounce. It's oblong shape. Sometimes it's going to bounce your way. Sometimes it's not. Think about the year we won the Super Bowl. The year we won the Super Bowl, we went 8-1 in 1-score games. 8-1. And I think that following year, the hangover, I think we went like 2-7 in 1-score games. So like the NFL is about, with the salary cap and free agency, man, like teams are built to be 8-9. I was 8-8, but everybody's typically built to be around that 8-8, 8-9. Of course, we have the bottom dwellers and the guys that feast at the top of the totem pole. But a lot of the times, the room for error is close. The difference between being a good team and a great team is just winning those close games. Winning those close games can do everything. And then Dave Canales talking about being smart, just getting the football right, that type of stuff. And just think about all the pre-snap penalties we had. Think about the holding calls, the false starts by like Icky all the time. Like those kind of unforced mental errors. You clean those up, you're going to put yourself in better position, man. Those are stuff that you can easily correct. It doesn't take any talent to be disciplined. It doesn't take any talent to be disciplined at all. So cleaning up penalties, self-inflicted wounds, mental errors will just go a long way for this team overall, man. So like, it feels like Dave Canales is being very, very practical about his approach. And I think that's going to put us in a position to be competitive. Even if we ain't doing crazy, it's going to put us in a position to be competitive. Said, why can't the Panthers get the blue together? Your hat is blue. But your shirt is blue, but it's green. Look, man. Hey, not too much on this. This is not official team merchandise. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But it is a Panther shirt. This is. Shout out to Duke Power. This is vintage. Or Duke Energy. This is vintage. This about as old as me. It's vintage. Hype for Herbert. We got to do a double dip on Legette and Burton. What up, though, D-Cash? What up, though? They have a preference on the style of wide receiver Panthers to get earlier or even later. Speed and a big body is what my preference is. Speed and a big body. So just watched Temptations last week. Underrated biopic. Underrated biopic. All right. Yeah, we had so many penalties in that. It was embarrassing. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, Dave Canales is saying the right stuff, man. Yeah, if we get Clowney and Stefon Gilmore. But next up, let's talk about Stefon Gilmore. Because according to reports, Stefon Gilmore has been contacted by the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers have contacted Stefon Gilmore, former Carolina Panther, of course. You guys may remember him. We traded for him from the New England Patriots for a 6th-round pick. That was probably one of the best. And I talked about it in my Deontay Johnson video. That was one of the better trades we've had in franchise history. Granted, we didn't sign him long term. Could have. But those are the type of deals that you have to make. You have to be there when stuff goes sour and teams are trying to offload players. You got to be there. You can pick them up for scraps. We picked up Deontay Johnson for scraps. Picked up Stefon Gilmore for scraps. And heavens know we need a corner. We definitely need a pass rush, but Lord knows we need a corner too. If you saw my latest mock draft, I went corner first because to me, if a first round corner like Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid McKinstry is there in the draft, that takes priority to me over wide receiver. I'm sorry. Because his receiver class is deep, but if you can get a lockdown potential, a corner that has lockdown potential like Wiggins or Kool-Aid, you jump on that. You jump on that type of opportunity. But back to Gilmore, because Gilmore is a guy that he's my age. He graduated with me in high school. That boy 31, 32 years old. I remember running track at state against Stefon Gilmore. You know what I'm saying? To date myself a little bit. to date myself just a little bit. I remember running track against the brother at state in Columbia. I think it was at Irmo. Maybe at Irmo. It's been a long time since I've been in high school. Bear with me. Regardless, bring Stefon Gilmore home. So he went to South Point too, just like Clowney. They played together in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring them both. Both of them. Bring both. Boffum. Both of them. Do I want Clowney or Gilmore? Both of them. Boffum. Both of them. You know? Because then you got guys that are vets that can bridge the gap. We can draft some young corners and a young edge rusher, and it's not a ton of pressure on them to perform. We don't have to do baptism by fire at positions that can be very, very cruel. Playing corner, especially in this division, going against Olave, Godwin, Mike Evans. I ain't worried about Drake London too much. But it can be tough, man. It can be tough. So if you can get a young corner later in the draft and you get a vet, I'm with that. Gilmore showed they can still have some juice. He still has some juice. He may not be the defensive player of the year that he was in 2019, but the brother is still productive. He can still put in work. We saw him locking up people last year. He took a little bit more lumps than we used to, but he ain't trash. He is playing good ball. That brother is playing good ball. And it's so crazy to me, the irony. Imagine the Panthers, the same offseason that they get rid of Dante Jackson, they sign Stefon Gilmore. Wouldn't that be so ironic? Because not too many moons ago, not too many off seasons ago, we had a choice. Do we sign Dante and extend him? Or do we keep Stefon Gilmore? We let Gilmore walk. Gilmore was next door neighbors with our general manager. Gilmore loved being at home close to Rock Hill. Gilmore said he didn't mind returning. He put that on wax. It was Sheena Quick at the Pro Bowl. Shout out to Sheena. He was open to staying. We had a player that was 2 years removed from being a defensive player of the year that was open to staying here. When I talk to you guys about taking hostages or taking volunteers, this is what I'll talk about. He was a hostage. He was a hostage that we converted into a volunteer. You had to take him hostage and hope that what you have with coaching and the system and the players and the locker room convinces him that makes them want to stay. That's what we hope it works out with Deontay Johnson. You take hostages and convert them into volunteers. That's exactly what we did with Stefon Gilmore. I know a lot of people get a little bit bothered by me saying that we have to take hostages by trading for them, but that's what I'm talking about. That could have worked out perfect, but we decided not to sign him. Meanwhile, he's played better ball than Dante down the stretch these past few years since the change happened. And now we're trying to right these wrongs. Do you know how funny it would be for that to happen? You know what kind of middle finger that would be to Matt Rule and Scott Fitterer for them to literally They've already been undoing a lot of the stuff that Scott Fitter did, the moves that he made and stuff like that. But for them to be able to right this wrong, it would be the ultimate middle finger, bro. And that's the level of petty I'm here for in 2024. That's the level of petty. And people are like, why would Gilmore want to come here? Why would he want to come to Carolina? Well, first of all, he's from here. And two, he wanted to stay around when we knew Matt Rule was here. Matt Rule did not want Gilmore to come back because, and I think Gilmore kind of alluded to it. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but Gilmore said that he tried to speak up and bring some of his vet and experience because he played for he was a Super Bowl champion. He tried to speak up and give some feedback, but they didn't want to hear it. They were kind of intimidated by Gilmore. Despite all that, he still was interested in coming back. He still was interested in coming back. Like, so come on. Said local guy that only played in 8 games for us and still made the Pro Bowl. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Come on, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. He still got some tread on the tire. Give him that 1-year deal, bro. We only need him for a year. He's going to help our young corners that we have already. Obviously, JC talked about the impact he had in helping him with tips and picking his brain JC's rookie year. And then he can bridge the gap until whatever corner we draft is ready to step up. That way we're not starting a rookie. I know Dane Jackson is there as well. But competition. Let's do it. But you guys make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you have not. I appreciate you guys tuning in and rocking with me. We are rolling tonight. We having a good time. I'm taking notes right now because I like to go back and review some of my content. So I got to make notes about where I want to chop up and do some shorts and put it on TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that stuff. So I gotta get my stuff together. Gilmore. All right, so get him. Sign Gilly. Get in the comments real quick before we move on. We Stockholm Syndrome them. So we Stockholm Syndrome. Exactly. We're not ready. We're not good enough to get volunteers yet without overpaying. Sometimes you got to take some hostages, and that's what we did. We just blew it. So the only hiccup you remember is the playoff. Yeah, they ran circles on them boys. them young boys ran circles around them. I remember that. I'm still on him. So I think he locked up AJ Brown, right? He locked up AJ Brown. So we got to get one last time we had a big free agent sign with us. Not traded to us, but signed. That would be big. Definitely would be a household name. Said drinking Coors Light. Put teams cold as ice to dominate with fire. Full dominance. Well-oiled machine that dominates. David said he got them Coors Light pumping. He ready. I can tell by them comments. You feeling excited. He got that drink flowing. So what do you think the hardest position to project in the draft? Do you think that matters when designing positions? Hardest project is easily quarterback, but outside of quarterback, I'd probably say tight end. Tight end is so rough, bro. Tight end is so rough. So Jerron Baker over Corley. And I'm not even a huge Corley guy. I like Corley now because of I think we can afford to take some luxury picks. Now that we have Deontay, I think we could take some luxury type of wide receivers just to get a variety of skill sets. We don't have too many of those. Just give him the ball and let him work with easy, free yards type of receivers. And that's what he is. We have some guys that can win quick, but we don't have no just give him the ball and get out the way type receivers. And that's what Corley is. Like I said in my mock draft, I think worst case scenario, rookie year, he's Laviska Shenault. Worst case. Shout out to my guy Ricky, man. I gotta get Ricky a round of applause. Shout out to my guy Ricky. Y'all shout out to the Bobati Show. What up, though? See that hat? I got the Duke Energy hat, bro. The Duke Power, Duke Energy hat. You know what I'm saying? I just got this past weekend. Said, it's not any and everybody that wants to come here and make us a better team. Said, dude, Dontavian Wicks is underrated. Dontavian Wicks moves, bro. He moves like Devontae Adams, bro. He was a 5th round pick for the Packers too. Like, we're overdue to get a type of prospect like that in the 5th round that nobody sees, and he just turns up for us. Said Malik Washington being slept down for real. Yep. All right, so let's get into it. So the draft hats dropped. Speaking of hats, the draft hats for the Carolina Panthers dropped. Yes, officially dropped. As the draft comes up, of course, everybody has to go on stage. They put on their hat, they cry, they hold up the jersey, stuff like that. So every year they have a special type of hat. They change the design. So new era, they've been doing the Panthers dirty. They've been doing the Panthers dirty for years. This is some of the stuff that they gave us. It's bad, man. It's bad. Like, what is this? What is this? I don't know what's worse. The bottom is just the bottom is literally bottom tier hat. Like, they've been trying to push the 2 states, 1 team, and they tried to put the flag on there with the crescent and the tree, and then the North Carolina flag stuff on there. This was horrible. This is like a clown hat. It looked like a clown hat. And the top one, it's just words, man. It's words. And if we ain't learned anything, words mean nothing when it comes to 2 states, 1 team. It's horrible. Like, I can't get jiggy with this. As a hat aficionado, like y'all know I am, I can't get jiggy with this. This is embarrassing. Absolutely unacceptable by the NFL. Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely. However, I'm happy, and I will give credit where credit is due. I will give credit. Somebody said it like the 7-Eleven inventory. I will give credit where credit is due. This year, man, listen. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the new ones. Let's talk about the new ones because they brought it this year. They came with it this year. I can't even knock them. I already ordered my black one. My black one on the way. My black one is on the way. Look at the detail. Let's talk about the detail. Let's start with the front. Let's talk about the front of the black one. They didn't do the blue accent. They put the gray. They put the black logo with the gray whiskers, the gray outline. They kept the teeth white, but the gray, the black on gray. Ooh. Then they put the shadow, the drop back shadow with the blue. The drop back shadow with the blue. It's not even complicated. This is simple. Sometimes less is more. Less is more. They try to do too much with the other stuff. Less is more. I can't forget about the side logo because, like I said, they tried to put it on the front. They tried to put the North Carolina and the South Carolina logos from the flag on the front. It wasn't it. It was not it, but they put it on the side. They put the outline of the states with it in there. They got to keep pounding in the right corner. Oh, my God. Oh my God. These are fire. The black, I already ordered my black, yo. My black one is on the way. My black one is on the way as we speak. Shout out to FedEx because I need that. I'm finna wear that with a suit and tie on draft day like I'm getting picked by the team. These so clean, I may join the team myself. Now the blue ones are nice too. I like the blue ones, but the black ones just go a little bit harder to me. I'm sorry. I don't know which one they're gonna have on draft night. I assume the black, but the black one goes a little bit harder to me. They have this in fitted. They got it in snapback like I'm showing you. And they have it in the flex hat as well. So for the dad hats. So whatever your flavor is, they got one for you. So make sure y'all check that out for them, man. But these hats, bro, I'm all for it. It's about time. They always give us the short end of the stick on these draft hats. But they done came with it. They done came with it, man. They done came with it. The feedback in the chat like it's fire. Jordan Carter said they mid. You the only one that said they mid, bro. It seems to be going over pretty well. Everybody like the black one is clean. Yeah, everybody liking the black. True. He said the blue will be good with the black logo. Don't put the teal on top of the teal. Yeah, you have to change that background on that teal. Maybe put it white or something. I don't know. Said we don't have a first round pick when we get to see them. Yeah, I mean, cause like, and that sucks. It ain't gonna be like that. But like, you know, when the guys be at home, they get drafted. They send them I think they send them a hat from every team. So they'll be able to. They'll put it on that. It'll be in somebody's living room. It ain't gonna be on the stage. It'll be in somebody's living room. You'll see this hat. It ain't gonna be on stage though, unfortunately. I mean, you'll see them when they get to the Panthers facility. But they you'll see you'll see them in somebody's living room with their family. That's about it, unfortunately. But 'tis what it is. So then trucker hat style. I like trucker hats. I don't like I like the mesh on my trucker hats to be small. I don't like the big old school actual trucker hat feeling, but I like the small mesh. He said 8 out of 10. I can rock with 8 out of 10. I'll probably do 8.5 out of 10. It's probably a little skewed just because how bad our hats used to be, but I'm rocking with it. So picking up with Dan Morgan, he had his meeting presser. Of course, with the before the owners' meeting. It was a Zoom call, and it was the first time we've heard from them since hiring. So definitely got a few nuggets. Couple things I wanted to point out. They asked him about his draft strategy. They asked him would he be interested in trading, or they asked him what he wanted to do, what their strategy was, trading picks to move up. And he pretty much said, and I'm going to make a deeper video exploring it. I'm going to make a different video exploring it. But he said that they are going to pretty much go best player available. He pretty much said in a nice way, we have way too many needs and holes to try to just go for whatever. They're pretty much going to go best player available. And that was kind of my motivation for my mock draft today. I know we love receivers, and I would love to double dip. And I hope they do. But we do have a lot of holes. And I think Deontay Johnson helped us. It knocked wide receiver down the needs list. Deontay Johnson took wide receiver down the needs list about 2 notches. If we had power rankings before free agency, wide receiver, corner was down the list. I wanted the corner, but whatever. Edge was down there because we still had Brian. After we first made a couple moves, Now that we got rid of Dante, got rid of Brian, added Deontay, wide receiver has dropped down to like number 3 for me. Wide receiver has dropped down to probably the number 3 priority or need for me, and as far as the team needs. So like, I'm open. I don't advise skipping or waiting too long on wide receivers because yes, it's a deep class, but I want immediate impact contributors. But I still think that it's down the list a little bit more. Corner is we need corners. We damn sure need edge. I would probably say edge is need number 1, but I just don't think. I think there's a better chance of a good corner falling to us than a good edge rusher. I don't think this edge rushing class is as deep. But I do think corner is deep, and I do think a good corner could fall. Excuse me. Shit. Gotta stay hydrated, people. Woo. Shoot. That was tough. My goodness. But yeah, I just think that wide receiver has fallen down a couple notches. And that somebody said that Deontay's on a 1-year deal. I don't understand. I 100% understand. That's why I want to double dip. And you can still double dip. But I still think that if a corner, a first round talented corner like Kool-Aid or like Nate Wiggins, who they've been meeting with, falls to 33, you have to go to sleep at night with a smile on your face. When the draft night ends on Thursday and we get ready for the next day, your phone gonna be ringing, asking you to trade back. You should put that thing on Do Not Disturb. Dan Morgan should put his phone on Do Not Disturb. If Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid McKinstry fall to 33 by the end of Thursday night of the draft, they should sleep like a baby with a smile on their face. They should put their phone on Do Not Disturb. They should already know who they're going to pick. They should go ahead and have that card pre-printed, ready to go. Unless they get an offer that just sweeps them off their feet. Because Lord knows if we can get offered for another pick, if somebody wants to give us a second rounder for next year, because we don't have a second rounder next year. If somebody wants to give us one of them, cool. I may be open to listening. But outside of that, shoot, I'm sleeping like a baby. Imagine J.C. Horn. Imagine J.C. Horn and Kool-Aid McKinstry. Or J.C. Horn and Nate Wiggins. J.C. Horn and Nate Wiggins might feed families. Because that's gonna give the Clemson fans that are Panthers fans, it's gonna finally give y'all a drafted tiger for the first time in franchise history. We have a Gamecock at one corner and a tiger on the other. It would feed families. It would feed families. But I'm excited. But Dan said that we're pretty much going to take BPA, and I agree. We're not going to plug every hole this offseason. Unfortunately, we're not. You could add some vets later to shore it up, to bridge the gap, but we're not going to be able to get every long-term answer this offseason. It's been great so far. It's going to take us a while to replace Brian Burns, guys. I'm sorry. As much as y'all don't may or may not like Brian, it's going to take us a while to replace a top 15 edge in the league. It's not going to happen overnight as far as a long-term solution. So we're going to have to try to figure something out. Obviously, we have a first-round pick next year, so we'll be there. But I think going best player available, shoring up as many spots as possible is the best way to go. Next year's receiver class is deep too. Hell, next year we may, depending on how good or bad we are, we may end up being in position for Travis Hunter. Listen, man. If we in position for Travis Hunter, one can dream. One can dream. But it's we're not gonna be able to plug everything this offseason. That's just kind of what it is, man. I'm coming to grips with it. Next year's about laying that foundation. It's about laying that foundation. So I understand going best player available. It ain't sexy or cute all the time, but I get it. Another thing Dan Morgan talked about was Derrick Brown. Let's talk about Derrick Brown. Derrick Brown contract extension. They asked him about it. They said conversation has been going on. They said that shout out to Panthers Prime Podcast. Shout out to you, bro. Said next year's receiver and cornerback class looks good for sure. I haven't even got too deep in it. I know receiver is good. We need edge, but like I said, Travis Hunter, man, he's coming out probably next year. But I've said it before on this channel. Derrick Brown was definitely, and his agent was definitely paying attention to how this Brian Burns situation has played out over the past few years. Drew Rosenhaus is one of the most experienced and best agents in the game. Drew Rosenhaus, he represented T.O. back in the day. Drew Rosenhaus, he represented Antonio Brown. Drew Rosenhaus, he represented DJ Moore. DJ Moore got his contract extension before his fifth-year option on his contract. Drew Rosenhaus don't play them type of games. Drew Rosenhaus is going to get a deal done for Brian Burns. For Derrick Brown. I'll say it again. Drew Rosenhaus is going to get a deal done for Derrick Brown. Period. We've seen Drew Rosenhaus clients hold out in the past, if it comes to that. But he has a decent working relationship with the Panthers. I hope they get it done. They need to get it done. Yeah, C3 said Rosenhaus invented the game. Exactly. Rosenhaus is an OG, man. He's an OG. He's not going to play those type of games. So from what Dan says, they've had some conversation, and I don't have any direct sources. What I hear comes from other sources. Derrick Brown is going to get a deal. Now when? That's the question. Does it happen before mandatory OTAs? Does he show up on April 1st? Because that'll tell me a lot. April 1st, I told you guys, April 1st is the day that teams can finally start doing workouts for new coaches. New coaches are allowed to get the first dibs on working with their team before every other experienced coach does. They give them a little bit extra time because they have to build that culture and stuff. So Dave Canales will get a chance to get the players in for voluntary workouts on April 1st. I don't know if it'll be any on-field work, but they'll be in the weight room lifting weights and doing stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but they'll get together, they'll talk, they'll chat, they'll be able to build that camaraderie, meet the new faces from free agency. It's voluntary. Pay attention to that. I'm telling you guys, you hearing it here first. Pay attention to that. Because if a holdout, like I mentioned before, how I would hold out if I was Derrick Brown, the way they did Brian Burns to force the issue, pay attention if he shows up to the voluntary stuff. Because I don't think Derrick Brown ever had any issues showing up to the voluntary stuff before. But with Drew Rosenhaus, will he show up to the voluntary stuff? It may be something, it may be nothing, because that's just voluntary. Everybody may not be at those off-season workouts anyway. But that's kind of the first little nugget. Because remember when Robbie Anderson tried to get that deal? Remember when Robbie Anderson tried to get that deal? He didn't show up. He was working out on his own. He ended up getting a deal eventually. But he didn't show up to the voluntary stuff and the off-season stuff. Now, they probably shouldn't have paid him, but that's what he did. So that's the first nugget. It may be something, it may be nothing, but April 1st, next Monday, 6 days from now, we'll get an update on how things are going. The contract may happen before then, but we'll get an update on where things stand. If he doesn't show up, it may turn into something, it may not. Now, once those OTAs start, that are kind of like voluntary, mandatory, and stuff like that later on in the spring, then we'll really start to shake some trees to figure out, okay, is this going to be a holdout? Because that's the type of stuff that you start hearing about. Holdout rumors and stuff start to brew. That's when that stuff starts to churn and get going. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. So, like I said, that's just something. I'm giving you a heads up. April 1st, we get together for workouts. If Derek Brown shows up, it could just be him being a good Samaritan like Brian Burns did, showing up for training camp and stuff, whatever. But if he doesn't, that'll let me know that he's trying to get that deal. Like I said, what I'm hearing in the chatter is Derek Brown could be a top 5 paid defensive tackle. Now, I know there's going to be some people, they always don't want to see the players get money. They're going to say he don't get enough sacks to be worth top 5 money. They say he one-dimensional. He only a run stopper. Why does he need top 5 money? I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to get cheaper. We just saw what Chris Jones got. We just saw what Matabuke got. We saw what Christian Wilkins got. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. But you have to get it done. We can't lose another one. Can't lose another one. But Dan Morgan's also a presser. Another thing about contract, he talked about J.C. Horn. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I talked about it before. J.C. Horn, the 5th-year option. They asked him, have they made a decision? He said they haven't made a decision on J.C. Horn's 5th-year option. Now, to be fair, the deadline for 5th-year options, is not until May the 2nd. So we have a little over a month, to be able to make the decision on J.C. Horn. To me, I've made my decision. Me personally, it's really a no-brainer. J.C. Horn, when on the field, is a top-tier corner. Corner is a premium position. It's even bigger premium for us because we don't have that many good ones. Fingers crossed we get Gilly. Fingers crossed Kool-Aid drops to us. But J.C. Horn, and they may wait till draft weekend, and that's the only thing. Let's say Kool-Aid drops to us. Let's say Nate Wiggins drops to us. Maybe they don't give J.C. Horn his 5th-year option because the 5th-year option deadline is after the draft. So they can see that, okay, hey, we got a top flight corner. We got a corner like Kool-Aid. We're good on JC. We don't want to give him that 5th year. We want to bring him back, but we're not going to give him that 5th year. So maybe they slow play it and do it then. Because with Derek Brown last year, they waited till after the draft as well. I think they were just kind of being lazy. But with J.C. Horn, obviously with the injury history, I know some people are pissed off at him about that. They think that he's injury prone. They don't want to do it. They want to trade JC. I think trading JC is asinine. It's more asinine than anything in this scenario. If you're gonna do one thing, just don't sign the 5th-year option. But trading him just seems asinine. You're not gonna get what you want from him. You're not gonna get what you want for him because of the injuries. And we just saw what L'Jarius Sneed got traded from the Chiefs to the Titans. L'Jarius Sneed is one of the best corners in the game. He went for what? Peanuts. So you're not going to get the return that you think you're going to get for J.C. Horn. You can't think J.C. Horn is not worth it, but also expect us to get top of the market value for him in a trade. You can't talk out both sides of your neck. That's what the old folks say. So he can't be not worth it, the 5th-year option, and at the same time think we're going to get a bunch of money, a bunch of picks. The 5th-year option is $12 million, $12.4 million. To me, that's cheap for the type of guy that he is. I'm wholeheartedly willing to take the risk on him. Now, would I give him an extension? Let's say J.C. Horn plays 17 games. He plays like a top 5 corner. I still probably wouldn't give him a deal. I would need 2 years. I would take the chance. I would take the chance of him doing 2 years, quality top flight corner, back-to-back years on next year and that 5th-year option, make him play on it. And then if I have to break the bank for him in 2026, free agency money, so be it. If I got to pay this man $20 million a year in 2026, so be it. I'm taking that risk. Like I said, I'm just thinking hypotheticals in the future. If he plays all 17 games next year and plays what we've seen him do when he's on the field, and he does it for 17 games, he'll be a top 5 corner. I still wouldn't pay him. Now, if he holds out, it'll be a different story. It'll get a little nasty. I don't expect him to do that, but it could happen. But to me, the $12 million ain't that much for a corner of his potential caliber. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. He strikes out, he strikes out. It is what it is. That's the risk I'm willing to take for a premium player at a premium position. But like I said, somebody said they'd rather use the 5th-year option on JC than Sam Darnold. True. But like I said, they could just wait to the draft. Like I said, if a guy like Kool-Aid or Nate Wiggins falls, they may say, okay, hey, we feel good about the long-term prospects of having a young corner on a rookie deal. We may not want to give JC his 5th-year option. We'll just let him bet on himself, and we'll negotiate from there. We'll take it from there. They may take it 1 year at a time and see what happens after next year. You know what I'm saying? You take the risk of him going to the open market, or you can franchise tag him. But to me, if I wouldn't, you got to make that decision. These are the decisions they're going to have to weigh. Because let's say JC, let's say they don't. This is all hypothetical, so walk with me a little bit. Let's say they don't give J.C. Horn the 5th-year option. Let's say they don't. And let's say J.C. goes out next year in the 4th year of his deal, 4th and final year, and he plays all 17 games and balls out. You're in a weird position of what his market value is, and obviously you want to keep him. He's a good player. If you can't get to a number, the franchise tag is on the table. Cool. But let's go over to offense. Let's say Deontay Johnson. Let's say we get a good solid rookie wide receiver. But let's say Deontay Johnson gets that Adam Thielen treatment like last year. You know what I'm saying? Let's say that he gets the Adam Thielen treatment where he gets 100-something targets, is the primary receiver all year, is force-fed the ball. We just saw Thielen get 1,000 yards. There's no way that Deontay Johnson can't get 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 yards. He's a better, younger, more juiced up receiver with better routes. He's in the final year of his deal. He's going to hit the open market. Let's say his effort questions are gone. He's a great team player. So now you got J.C. Horn, who's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And then you got Deontay Johnson, who's going to be an unrestricted free agent. 2 players on both sides of the ball playing at the top of their game, but you only got 1 franchise tag. Now you're in trouble. But if you put the 5th-year option on JC, and then that same thing happens with Deontay where he balls out, you can franchise Deontay if you want to, and then figure out a contract from there. So I think that just overall, giving J.C. Horn a 5th-year option is the way to go. That's just me. That's just me. All right, let's keep it pushing. Um, but yeah, but Dave Canales. Let's talk about Dave Canales real quick. This is my last thing. I'm finna land this plane because I know it's after 8. I ain't got to cook dinner tonight. Shout out to my wife. Usually on Tuesdays I do. Give it up for her. No dinner for me. We have lasagna. I mean, no cooking dinner for me. We have lasagna tonight. I'm finna go watch FBI. All 3 of them. I'm finna watch all 3 of them. It's smelling good too. I can smell it. Let's talk about it. So Dave Canales, man, it's really, really like me. And I told y'all, I was like, this is going to be the most objective. Shout out to Quan. I didn't even get to check up on you when you were in here. Shout out to Quan, my boy Quan. Say your cooking days on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I cooked last night. Said shout out to Miss Bluntness. Shout out to Miss Bluntness. She probably watching somewhere downstairs, maybe. Shout out to her. Shout out to baby Bluntness too. Little baby Bluntness. She down there. Said Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know you gotta. Yeah, I'm a family man. But get back to Dan Morgan. Oh yeah, what did we learn? I'm tripping. All right, damn, it's hard, man. Not Dan Morgan, Dave Canales. It's hard, man. Like, and I told you guys that I was going to be. You're probably going to get the most objective dunk because, like I said, it was me partially being just emotionally detached because of the Brian Burns deal. It hurt, and some of the other moves we did, it hurt. But it's hard listening to Dave, listening to Dan, seeing the moves. It's hard not to be a fan. I try not to fight my feelings. I try to be as objective as possible because I think that's what y'all kind of listen to me for. I try to bring my knowledge of what I know about the game, just my like critical thinking when looking at certain things and stuff like that. I think that's why y'all like my. I mean, obviously, I think I'm funny. I ain't that good looking, but I think I'm a little funny. So I try to like put myself in different point of views and think about certain things from different perspectives. And just I told you, but like listen to Dave Canales, man. It's hard, bro. It's hard not to be a fan. It's hard. It's hard. And it's not because he's dropping one-liners or catchphrases or he wears quarter zips that's as tight as mine or he got muscles and shoulders like me or he's very, very well spoken and he just got charisma. It's just the stuff that he says is very, very refreshing. And we talked about not getting Ben Johnson, and we know Ben Johnson is this wizard that is super creative with the offensive schemes, and it's amazing to see how stuff comes together. But like, I think there's something to be said about just being practical. Like, people say it all the time, but football is not that complicated, bro. You literally have to just look at what you have, know what works, look at what you have, put those guys in position to succeed, do all the little stuff right, and then go from there. And a lot of that that's why they probably call him Pete Carroll Jr., because I don't think Pete Carroll's some supreme strategist. I think Pete Carroll can manage a staff. I think he has certain philosophies and ideas about football in general. And he's just a problem solver. I wouldn't mistake Pete Carroll from some grand wizard that's going to out-strategize somebody like Bill Belichick. They just practical. They do stuff that makes sense. Like Dave Canales has come in Okay, let's look at Bryce Young. Let's get that footwork right. The footwork was off balance. A little bit had to do with the protection. Let's get it right. So that way, when he's dropping back, he'll be able to throw on time. What was wrong with Bryce Young? He threw late. He doesn't have the arm strength to be able to throw. Like Cam Newton, he had a strong arm. So sometimes you can be late on your throws because you can jam it in there. Bryce Young doesn't have that luxury. So he needs to be on time, on target, throw it in anticipation. He does that well. But the footwork is just going to help him because a lot of times it's about rhythm. When you drop back on passes, there's certain rhythms you have. You take a 3-step drop. On step 1, 2, you may be looking at the receiver number 1. By the time you get to your third, you may do 1, 2, 3, hitch, and throw. That may be the rules. So on your second step, you may have to go through your first read. By the time you get to your third step, you may need to be on to your second read. By the time you hitch, it may be time to go to your check down. So every spot in your footwork has to do with the rhythm of the throw. Because on your second step, you may see that, okay, this guy's running a curl. He's about to come on his break. Is he open or not? Because if he is open, by the time I hit that hitch, I need to get rid of the ball. But if he's not, I have a guy that's running the dig. His route is a little bit longer. So by the time I come off of him, off the curl, and look at the dig, I'm still in rhythm. So rhythm helps your accuracy, it helps your timing. And he said that let's look at what Bryce Young does well. Let's not be Frank Wright. And I got a podcast going to talk about this, about Dave Canales. I'm going to break him down completely. Let's look at the throws where Bryce Young hit his steps in rhythm and look confident. And as soon as he hit that back foot, he got rid of the ball. I think there's some dig routes. I think there's some out routes, crossing routes that he did. He said, let's build off of the stuff that he does well. That's not complicated. Doing what works is not rocket science. No matter what Frank Wright made us feel like. Doing what works that's not advanced coaching. It's not rocket science. It's just smart. That's like literally you can apply that to anything in life. If you're in a gym and you work out 2 days a week and you don't get results. So you say, I'm not getting in the gym enough. Let me go 5 days a week. But you go 5 days a week, you're always sore. You may get injured a little bit. You can't recover. You're not making gains because you're beating your body up. But 3, maybe 4 days a week, I get good gains. I feel fresh. I'm motivated to go to the gym every day. It doesn't feel like a task. That works. Let me keep doing that. You're not going to force yourself to go to the gym 5 days a week or only do 2 days a week when it's not working. Do the stuff that works. Just because Ronnie Coleman goes to the gym 5 days a week, some of y'all may know Ronnie Coleman. Just because he goes to the gym 5 days a week doesn't mean it's going to work for Aaron Duncan. It might have worked for him, but it not work for me. You don't do square peg, round hole like Frank Wright. You do what works. It's not that complicated. But it's just refreshing to hear because we have guys like Frank that try to overcomplicate it. We have guys like Matt Rule that refuses to do normal type stuff because he wants to think outside the box and outsmart people. It's just refreshing to get a practical coach. He said, let's get the football right. Let's get the mistakes out the way. Let's do the basics. Let's get the ball out in 2.7 seconds so our offensive line doesn't have to block all day. They're not that great all the time at blocking for longer period of time. So let's get the ball out quick. That's going to help Bryce, who can hold on to the ball too long sometimes. That's going to help him get the ball out, but it's also going to help the offensive line. So help him, help them. Help Bryce, help the offensive line. It's not rocket science. This is just practical stuff. Practical stuff. It's not complicated. And even him saying like today, the little stuff. Shout out to my boy Antoine Pearson. What up, though? But shout out to him because, like, even him saying that you saw in the little coach's video, he said that's Andy Reid. He said that I don't even feel like I'm supposed to be here. He's like, again, he's humble against all the guys that are there. He's like, man, I'm sitting as Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Just won a Super Bowl. He said, I'm trying to soak up what they did and kind of emulate, like pick up any nuggets I can. This guy, he gets it, bro. Dave Canales he gets it, man. He gets it. Be a sponge. Absorb all the knowledge you can from all these other coaches. Pick their brains. It's still a fraternity. Yeah, everybody competes, but it's still somewhat of a fraternity. The coaching space is. He gets it, man. And so you can't help but, like I said, you can't help but feel confident in that. You can't help but feel confident in that. So I'm really, really happy with Dave. One nugget we talked about though, he said that he's a big Tommy Tremble guy. Tommy Tremble is very athletic, not a big catch radius type of tight end, but he's shown some flashes. He showed flashes last year. Yards after catch, I think, is more of his specialty. So he may not need to run crazy routes all the time. Give him the ball and let him work. So I do think there's still meat left on the bones for Tommy Tremble, but he also said he wants to add a Swiss Army knife at tight end. So what could that be? I'm in the draft. He said that he loved their tight end room in Seattle, that type of stuff. He thought Tommy Tremble resembled Noah Fant, them type of guys. But in the draft, who are those Swiss? He said a Swiss Army knife. That was the role he said. That was the role. He said Swiss Army knife. Some all-around guys. In my draft, I took Jared Wiley. To be honest, Jared Wiley is not a Swiss Army knife. He's a receiver. He's not going to bring much with blocking, but he's a great receiver. Ben Sinnott is an all-around guy. He's like a good at everything, a master of none, in my opinion. He's good all around, but not great at anything. But he's good all around. Versus, like I said, Wiley is good at receiving, great at receiving and route running, not so great at blocking. So Ben Sinnott is there. Theo Johnson is a guy that I chose in some of my previous mock drafts. Theo Johnson is a great blocker, a good receiver. He has the catch radius, the size. He's an all-around tight end as well. A lot of people like Jatavian Sanders from Texas. He's not a great blocker at all. Very athletic. I think there's a lot of upside in the receiving game for him, especially yards at the catch. But he's not a great blocker. Not a great blocker. So I don't know if he'll be on the table for us. We'll see. But that's just something I expect us to draft a tight end. Expect us to draft a tight end. There's a couple other guys. I forgot the Iowa tight end's name. You can't ever sleep on Iowa tight ends. You can't ever sleep on Iowa tight ends. Ever. Ever. Because they end up popping out and being superstars. But yeah. Dave Canales, man, it's hard not to like him, bro. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But I'm about to get ready to wrap up. I want to get you guys' thoughts though. Another film breakdown coming. The guy from Penn State was Theo Johnson. Sullivan hoop. He's a good receiver. I I want to get you guys' thoughts on film. My next film breakdown. Who should I do as far as free agent? The choices are DJ Wanham. Let me get this off. Do y'all want DJ Wanham? Do y'all want Jordan Fuller, the safety? Or do y'all want the guards? Who do y'all want next? It's a film breakdown. I'm going to let y'all choose. Y'all vote in the chat. Let me know in the chat, y'all. Jordan Fuller, the safety that we signed. Y'all want a film breakdown on him? Do y'all want DJ Wanham, the edge rusher? Or do you want the guards? Let me know who y'all want. Before I get off here. I see a vote for Wanham from I'm Jedi. Now, Wanham is an interesting player. Fuller, I see a vote for Fuller. Let me know in the chat, y'all, before I get off here so I can start working and getting the lab on film. I'm going to try to get it up this week. It may be later on this week. Can I make a poll? I don't even know how to make a poll. Let me see. How do I make a poll? Let's see if I can make a poll. Let me see if I can make a poll. Give me a second. Shout out to my guy. What's up, Doug? He said I gave out his government name. My bad, bro. I didn't know that was your good. I didn't know. My bad. I'm gonna see if I can put up a poll real quick, guys. Bear with me. Book a flight, unlock a hotel deal. If I can't, yeah, I don't know how to do a poll. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I'll put a poll on the community tab. I'll put one up there. Let me check the votes real quick though. I see Fuller. I see one for the guards. I did not do the defensive tackle. Fuller, another Wanham, another Robinson, two for Robinson, the guards. It's pretty even. All right. I'm going to have to make a poll. Fuller and Wanham, I don't even know how I want to measure the burns. Fuller. So it felt pretty even. I'm not gonna lie. Even Ashawn Robinson made a little late comeback. So it seems like it's between Wanham and Fuller. Wanham is probably the hot topic because everybody wants to see if we actually replace Brian Burns. So I'll do Wanham. I'll do Wanham first, and I'm gonna try to cover everybody. It's just gonna be spaced out because I got to get this draft content. This week I'm doing my running back. I'm breaking down a running back position for the draft. So y'all make sure y'all please support my draft content. I'm trying to dip my toe in the draft stuff too. I've been watching film. I just got to get the confidence and the balls to post my draft content because people are very, very strict on their draft stuff. So I'm gonna put I got a extended position breakdown and rankings and stuff for the running back position coming this week, and then a film breakdown probably for Jordan Fuller or Wanham, it sounds like. And then probably one more video ASAP tomorrow. Work on the running back one for maybe Thursday. And then try to get the film breakdown by Friday. Busy week. Twitter poll. I'll do a Twitter poll. So y'all make sure y'all follow me on Twitter at Dunk On Demand and vote on that poll. I'll probably put one on my YouTube community tab as well. I'll put one there. So make sure you guys check out there. Zachary Waters said, thank you for talking about the Panthers. Appreciate it, man. They my squad, man. They my squad. And we gotta, the mainstream media not gonna talk about us in detail. So we gotta build that. We gotta spread some propaganda. We got to push some Panthers propaganda, you know? All right, but I appreciate you guys watching, man. I got to get up off here, eat this dinner, check on my babies, both of my babies, my wife and my baby daughter. Love y'all. I appreciate that. So looking forward to the draft stuff. Yeah. I'm videos coming this week, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I took a couple of days off from last week because I went crazy. Zach T said, loving the breakdowns. Keep it going. Appreciate it, man. But like I said, probably maybe a video tomorrow. Running back draft video. Film breakdown on Wanham or Fuller. I'll put the poll up on Twitter and YouTube so y'all can vote there. And we're keeping it rolling. Next Tuesday, I'll be back. I'm doing live stream every Tuesday, y'all. I've been doing it 3 weeks in a row. Stay tuned if I have a guest or not. Regardless, I'm out, man. Peace. Say, hope fatherhood is going well. Appreciate it, man. It's going well. She keeping me up at night. But shout out to my wife for giving me this time to make videos and a stream. But love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Keep pounding.